Hello. Anya is a successful pastry chef, and during the years of her professional growth, the digit on the scales keeps increasing. From a slim beauty, the girl turns into an overweight girl who gets dumped by her boyfriend. Depression makes Anya overeat even more, and the girl decides to go to a meeting of the Overeaters Anonymous. There, the optimistic chubby guy Colya appears in her life, who not only helps his friend to lose the extra weight, but also reveals the deep childhood trauma that lies behind it. Anya, in her underwear, turns in front of the mirror, sorrowfully examining her plump figure, which she needs to somehow hide under the dress. Almost all of her outfits look terrible, except for the green mini, which more or less fits her. In this dress, the heroine is caught by her boyfriend Zhenya, an avid athlete and swim coach who keeps himself in great shape. The couple is going to their best friend's wedding, where all the guests will be from the fitness industry, and from the disappointed look on Zhenya's face, she realizes that she does not fit into this party at all. Realizing the bitter truth, she tries to persuade her lover to stay home, but Zhenya offers another way out.
Я сгоняю один подарок, подарю, речь толкну и приеду.
Having received the girl's consent, the boy hurries to leave and refuses to kiss her goodbye on the pretext that his dress shirt will get wrinkled. Left alone, the girl weighs herself and sees a disappointing figure on the scale, 165 pounds. As a solution to the problem, she makes a water charm and drinks it greedily, then cooks unhealthy calorie-dense food for herself and, while the frying pan is sizzling, looks through social media photos and videos from the wedding in which her boyfriend flirts with a skinny hottie. Putting on the miserable mini dress, Anya hurries to the event, getting a ride from her best friend Natasha, who is always there to help and support her. The girl shows up at the cafe in the midst of partying on the dance floor, where her lover is openly flirting with the skinny girl, whom she quickly pushes aside. After having a proper dance, Anya has an equally proper lunch, and Zhenya watches her with contempt, while the girl of his dreams passes by with another man. This situation forces him to finally announce the breakup.
Тебе вообще все равно, что есть, когда есть, где есть, как ты выглядишь, как...
The newlyweds intervene in the couple's argument, surprised by the absence of Anya, who according to Zhenya, stayed home sick. Having glanced at her bulging belly, the groom assumes that Zhenya concealed her pregnancy under the pretext of illness. This becomes the final straw for the girl, and tears well up in her eyes. In her frustration, Anya goes to her mother's house in the village. She finds her in the company of the combine operator, Semyon Gravilovich, who has been caring for the woman. The three sit down to tea and try to carry on a conversation, which now and then leads to awkward pauses. One of these is interrupted by a shout from the window. The village drunks call out to the man who sells the moonshine, the use of which he himself also enjoys. Left alone with her mother, Anya finally tells her the truth that Zhenya has left her, but the woman only has one answer to any of her daughter's troubles.
Терпи. Потом легче станет.
Anya stays the night at her mother's house and in the darkness looks at pictures of her lost life. In one of the photos, she sees her lost slim figure too. In the morning, the girl goes to her faithful savior, Natasha, to whom Zhenya has brought Anya's stuff. Her friend lets the girl stay with her, arranging a sleeping place on the balcony and trying to support her as best she can. Many days and nights Anya spends in her shelter, sometimes looking out the window indifferently. Natasha and her husband Dimas, with the help of a bucket of cold water, manage to pull the heroine out of her permanent hibernation. Once she comes to her senses, the first thing Anya does is turn to water again to make her wish come true.
Похудею на 15 килограмм, но мы с Женей опять будем вместе.
And then, on the advice of her friend, she goes to work out. But her attempts to master the machines ends in failure, which she relieves by eating a burger with Coke. But caring Natasha unceremoniously takes away her food, trying to talk sense into the girl and make her care about her body. The friend tells her that she is going to move to Moscow, but cannot leave Anya in this condition, and wants to help her lose weight first. Returning to work after her sick leave, Anya suffers from a difficult internal struggle. Surrounded by fat women, gorging themselves with baked chicken and cutlets, she drinks tea. However, at the end of the day, she eventually loses the unequal battle with the tempting cake. After this failure, Anya decides to find like-minded people and goes to the Overeaters Anonymous, where the optimistic chubby Colya appears on the same day. He wants to change his figure and life too, and is the only motivated person at this meeting, where the participants are more occupied with discussing the name of their group.
И даже если я скажу, что я веселая пушинка или фея похудее, это нифига не изменит.
After the meeting, Colya offers to partner with Anya to lose weight, but the girl, after looking him over from head to toe with disdain, refuses. This does not stop the persistent guy from joining her for lunch in an attempt to achieve his goal. Later, Anya looks at the guy's social media page and discovers that he was given the offensive nickname Fatty at work, after he selflessly participated in the Race of Heroes sports event. The next morning, the fat guy appears on the doorstep of Natasha's apartment, who is leading her friend out for a run. And this first small step starts a whirlwind of exciting events for both of them, which in a month brings the girl to the long-awaited result. Having finally bought a swimsuit 3 sizes smaller, Anya advances to her next objective and sets out to charm her ex-boyfriend. During a training session, the couple feel mutual attraction, just like they did in the past, but their flirting ends in an awkward situation. Christina, Zhenya's new girlfriend, shows up. Unable to go through this on an empty stomach and sober head, Anya goes to all sorts of trouble at a nightclub, and in the morning is horrified to find herself in someone else's bed in an unfamiliar apartment, in which, as it later turns out, lives Colya, who still has not managed to lose weight. It turns out that the love-struck guy literally saved Anya from the nightclub when she, almost unconscious, was being shoved into a car by an unknown man. And on their way home, the girl's loose tongue gave away the real reason of her years of gluttony. So Colya decided to express his thoughts on the matter using a casserole as an example.
А вот тут твои отношения с отцом. Пустота у тебя тут.
The boy manages to convince Anya that a childhood trauma is ruining her adult life, and she goes to her mother to get her father's phone number. Under her daughter's insistence, the woman gives in, and it turns out that Anya's own father lives in Kazan. But this does not stop the girl, and she is going on a trip, taking her father's sweater along. That's exactly what he was wearing the day he had left a huge imprint on the little girl's life many years ago. Taking Anya to Kazan is the love-sick Colya, who fulfills all of the girl's requests, hoping to establish a relationship with the girl, even though she refused to come and support him at the Race of Heroes next week. The father greets his guests with a lavish meal made of beaver meat, which they refuse to taste, and the conversation at the table quickly turns into a father-daughter rivalry as they brag about their accomplishments in life. The father's new wife, Diana, notices the tense situation and takes Colya with her to make tea, leaving the daughter and father alone. Anya pulls out her father's sweater.
Помнишь, ты в ней танцевал со мной фристайл?
The heroine asks to do the dance together again so she can film it and keep the memories. But the man refuses to do it, thinking that he would look like a clown. Instead, he offers his daughter a knife as a gift and to go to the sauna in the evening, an idea the girl does not like at all. But on the advice of Diana, she agrees and accidentally starts a fire. Then it becomes clear that the bathhouse is much more important to the father than his own daughter. Colya returns the girl to her mother's house and, walking her to the gate, hints that now that she has solved the problem, she is ready to build relationships with other people. Anya, as before, pretends not to notice his hints. However, still appreciating his gesture, she kisses the guy on the nose in gratitude. Zhenya is looking for Anya at her mother's house. Showing up on the doorstep with a bouquet of wildflowers, he tries to win the girl back. Initially skeptical, Anya freezes when Zhenya plays their favorite song, and, overwhelmed with emotion, throws herself into his arms. The scene is observed from the window by Colya. The guy, excited by the kiss, had returned with a bouquet of flowers and ripe raspberries to give them to his beloved. After the reunion, Anya and Zhenya talk in bed. The guy declares that breaking up for a month has made the relationship better, and if the girl gets heavier again, she can go running and swimming and get herself back into shape. At this point, behind Zhenya's outward attractiveness, Anya finally manages to see the unpleasant nature of her chosen one. Not intending to live her whole life with thoughts of how much she has to weigh to deserve his love, Anya sends the guy away for good. Disappointed by her failures, the girl manages to ruin the relationship with her mother as well, calling Semyon Gavrilovich names he accidentally overhears.
Это же тот же отец, только ни о чем.
As always in the most difficult moments of her life, Anya rushes to her friend Natasha in search of support, and it turns out that there is a farewell party at her apartment on the occasion of her departure from Moscow. Not paying attention to the events in her friend's life, Anya again pours out all her problems and asks her not to leave, counting on Natasha to save her this time as well.
Блин, Натах, ну только не сейчас, у меня так все навалилось.
While the girls were talking on the balcony, the neighbors called the police on the noisy nighttime festivities. The guy who appears on the balcony hands Anya a glass vessel, which would be better to hide from the police. But the girl, confused, throws it down where it crashes right on top of the law enforcement car. In order to save everybody from going to the police precinct, Natasha has to give the captain all the money he had saved to move to Moscow. This completely pisses her off. The determined girl who on one side has a husband who doesn't want to develop himself, and on the other side has a best friend who only burdens her with problems, expresses her feelings to both of them and rightfully states that neither of them supports her. The family scandal heats up and Anya goes to her last possible savior. The girl seeks out Colya, but even there receives no support. He sends her back to the guy with whom Anya was having fun at her mother's house, ignoring Colya's sincere feelings for her.
Ищи себе новую жирную подружку.
Abandoned in the middle of the night away from home, Anya is forced to walk on foot. On the way, she finds herself in a dangerous situation. Bikers catch up with her and threaten her, surrounding her in a ring. She has to flee from them through a field where the exhausted girl falls down and falls asleep until morning. In the morning, the combine operators, including Semyon Gravilovich, go out to the wheat field. The man is drinking moonshine from a glass bottle, but nevertheless does his job responsibly and notices the girl in the thickets of wheat. His partner, on the other hand, is distracted from driving the heavy machine, and Anya fell asleep in its path. Risking his own life, Semyon Gravilovich pulls Anya out from under the sharp blades of the combine at the very last moment. After realizing during the conversation that the man is drunk again, Anya reprimands him for leading this kind of life.
Да я пить начал, когда гнать стал.
Да, у меня жопа толстая, потому что я с едой работаю.
Having overcome her addiction, Anya is confident that he too will be able to take the matter in his own hands and offers Semyon Gravilovich to choose who he wants to grow old with, her mother or the local drunks. After getting out of the field, the heroine sets out to correct her mistakes. The first thing she does is go to Natasha and sincerely apologize for being a bad friend. While the girls spend time together, Gravilovich makes the responsible decision to get rid of the moonshine machine. And soon, Anya brings the newfound groom to her mother. Anya's father also decides to correct his mistakes. He comes to his daughter to fulfill her request and cheerfully jams to the music, no longer fearing to appear ridiculous. Having apologized to his daughter, the father invites her to visit him with Colya, and the girl tells him that she has made some irreparable mistakes. But with her father's support, she nonetheless decides to try to put things right. Anya arrives at the race of heroes that Colya invited her to a week ago. The guy is not among his co-workers though. It turns out they kicked him out because he didn't meet the requirements. To fulfill Kolya's dream of surpassing himself, Anya assembles a team of Overeaters Anonymous members for him, and they go through the ordeal together, in the end of which the love-struck boy finally gets the long-awaited kiss. As always, you will find the title of the film in the description. Meanwhile, let us know in the comments, do you believe that the conflicts have helped Anya see herself from a different perspective and improve? Or does she still have a long way to go? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next awesome retelling.
Watch an interesting movie in a few minutes without rewind? Easy!
We got a great looking audience tonight.
The Sweet Popcorn channel has a mega convenient format waiting just for you. Short retellings of movies, from auteur films to Hollywood blockbusters. Pick up your unlimited ticket by clicking the subscribe button.